A widower moved in next door, beautiful as jade, tall and straight, incredibly rich. I was itching to have him. That same night, I climbed over his wall. Before I could steady myself, hidden guards surrounded me. His face darkened. He sneered, "Even with amnesia, you still can't fix this lecherous habit of yours." 01. Actually, I climbed over tonight to steal gold and jewels. I tried to defend myself. Oh, really? The second I saw his face, I changed my tune. Stealing you works too, hey. The man had cold, clear eyes. His pale skin made the tiny red mole on the tip of his nose look especially bewitching. Yet he carried the air of a scholar, noble in every move. I was hooked. Hey. Tonight's wall climbing was so worth it. His face fell even harder at my words. He looked at me with a half smile. His voice tight with gritted teeth. "Fine. Let's see how you plan to steal me." 02. I was dragged off by two tall, fierce maids, still processing. Did that pretty young master want me to steal him, or did he want me to steal him? They didn't take me to some dark cell like I imagined. Instead, they led me to a quiet, luxurious courtyard, and they served me dinner, 9 dishes and 1 soup. Even a last meal was this fancy. Scared tears leaked from the corners of my mouth. The food tasted perfect. I couldn't help eating too much. While eating, I found out who he was, the only son of the Prime Minister. Third-place scholar in the imperial exams 2 years ago, now holding an important court position, only 22, no concubines, no romantic rumors at all, talented, good-looking, and morally upright. When the man walked in, I just finished the last sip of soup. He glanced at the table and huffed. "You certainly have a good appetite." Not bad, not bad," I laughed awkwardly. He brought a doctor to feel my pulse. I rested my chin in one hand, staring at him dreamily. "Young master, are you married? Do you have someone you love?" "It's okay if you're married, I'd still be." I didn't even finish before he stuffed a pear into my mouth. The move was smooth, like he'd done it 100 times. Fine, I ate the pear in silence. Halfway through, the doctor finished. "Miss, your pulse shows no serious problems." The man's face turned grave instead. "Then why can't she remember anything?" The doctor bowed slightly. "I am not skilled enough to find any hidden issues. Please seek another physician." "My lord." 03. Late at night, alone together, man and woman, the words sounded wonderfully ambiguous. Reality. I was sleepy, he was reading. I tried to leave, but 2 sword-wielding guards stood at the door, 1 step closer, and blades pressed to my neck. Dangerous, very dangerous. I leaned next to him. "I still don't know your name. You speak like we're old friends. Are my parents still alive?" I fired off a dozen questions. He glanced at me, turned the page calmly, and kept reading, me, ignoring me. "Playing hard to get. Please, I don't even care that much. I only talk to you because you're pretty. Don't get ideas. I've met plenty of men like you, just average, nothing special." Song Yunchi. "Your name is Jiang He. Your parents are alive, and they're court officials. They're too busy to find you. So they asked me to bring you home." He finally couldn't stand my rambling and answered. "Then why do I have amnesia? How did I end up here?" Song Yunchi slammed his book shut and looked at me with a strange expression. "Jiang He, you're still so annoying even with amnesia." He tapped his own cheek with his finger. "I don't owe you any answers. How about this? Kiss me, and I'll answer one question." I froze. What kind of heaven-sent deal was this? Song Yunchi saw me go quiet and sneered. "Coward." He reached for his book. In the blink of an eye, I pressed one hand on the book and grabbed his collar with the other. I'll kiss. I'll kiss you, silly." In seconds, I covered his face in red lip prints. 04. By the time he reacted, I'd already let go. Song Yunchi scrubbed his face furiously. It turned bright red. I couldn't tell if it was from rubbing or embarrassment. Probably the former. "Jiang, why, you." His clothes were messy, exposing pale skin. He looked furious and humiliated, finger shaking as he pointed at me, like he'd just been violated. I shrugged helplessly and yelled after his fleeing back. "You said 1 kiss per question. I gave you 13, rounding up. You still owe me 20 answers. Remember that." Only a door slam answered me. I threw myself happily onto the bed inside and rolled around. Finally, a good night's sleep. The next morning, I wandered the whole mansion and found him in his study. I blocked the door and grinned at him. Little Lord Song, you still owe me 20 questions. Song Yunchi lifted his eyes, something unreadable in them. What did you call me? Little Lord Song, I heard the servants call you that last night. Can't I say it too? Nothing. Call me whatever you want. After I insisted, he finally agreed to talk properly. He said I was a wild, unconventional girl. My father was Minister of War, my maternal grandfather a general, my mother died young. My stepmother ran the house, but she treated me well. Any rare treasure went to me first. I was extremely close to my grandfather. At 8, I stayed at his estate and refused to come home. My father and stepmother let me. They visited every year with new jewelry and fabrics. I only returned to the capital when I came of age. My stepmother threw me a grand, famous ceremony that shocked the whole city. I also had twin siblings 2 years younger, a gentle, lovely younger sister, and a clever younger brother. I listened, chin in hand. I sounded like I had a great family, but I wasn't interested in hearing more. 05. How did we meet? Song Yunchi seemed to recall something. He turned halfway, ears pink, and mumbled, "We're childhood sweethearts. We spent time together after you returned to the capital. Why do I have amnesia? Why was I dumped in a town thousands of miles away?" Song Yunchi pressed his lips together, his voice mocking. "You and the third prince fought over an actor. He had you beaten and dumped you here. Jiang He, you really outdid yourself. One ridiculous thing after another since you came back." Then he started listing all my nonsense. "It wasn't that bad. I just flirted with every talented young man in the capital, invited this one to dinner, that one to boat rides, teased everyone, then left them hanging. I dressed as a man to visit brothels and once caused a huge scene there. My favorite thing was to hug an actor while listening to storytelling in a tea house full of people. I gambled sometimes, and even rescued courtesans." Song Yunchi said I did everything men did, and even the things they were too ashamed to do. I'd turned the minister's manor upside down since returning, but even so, my family protected my reputation with everything they had, especially my younger half-sister. She often argued with her friends just to defend me. I laughed out loud as I listened, tears forming at the corners of my eyes. "I can't believe I was this free and wild before amnesia. Did I flirt with you before, Little Lord Song?" I didn't wait for him to answer. "Of course I did. Once anyone sees you, no one else matters." Song Yunchi didn't speak, he just looked at me. In his cold, peach blossom eyes, I saw my own grinning face. He said, "Jiang He, stop humiliating yourself." I looked down, pretending not to understand. I smiled and kissed both his cheeks, watching the jade-like man panic and cover his face. I laughed again. "Jiang He, right here, you answered so many questions, I can't let you lose. You said 1 kiss per question, right? If that's not enough, I'll add 2 more on the other cheek." "No need." Song Yunchi fled the study again in a panic. 06. After that, Song Yunchi avoided me for 2 days. But I always found him, teased him with every excuse, and watched him run away red-faced, until he told me we were leaving for the capital. Then I avoided him for a day. That night, in the middle of the night, I climbed the wall again. Before I could jump down, I saw a group of people waiting for me. What a coincidence. "Little Lord Song, are you also climbing the wall to enjoy the night view? Want me to help you up?" I laughed awkwardly. Song Yunchi's lips curved up. "Jiang He, will you jump back on your own? Or do I have my men catch you?" "Guess." I smiled sweetly at him, then jumped straight toward him, knocking him flat onto the ground. As I scrambled up, I took the chance to squeeze his abs twice. Don't lie, they felt amazing. When Song Yunchi was helped up by his men, his hair crown was askew, a few strands falling over his bright red earlobes. I hung my head, poking my fingers together, acting all shy. "I'm so clumsy, I couldn't even jump down right. And I hurt Little Lord Song. I didn't know you were so weak you couldn't even hold a delicate lady. You're not mad at me, are you?" Song Yunchi fixed his crown, his gaze sharp enough to bury me on the spot. "Jiang He, since when is a delicate lady able to punch 8 men flying? Stop acting." "Whoa, I was that strong. I could punch 8 people." I pinched the soft flesh on my arm, which felt totally weak. I was still shocked, not noticing his eyes turning curious. I'd planned to escape over the wall, But they dragged me back anyway. After washing up, I froze when I saw Song Yunchi in my room, but I still saunter over grinning. Little Lord Song. Coming here in the middle of the night, could it be? I trailed off, twisting my hands, letting the rest hang in the air, but I didn't see him blush like I expected. He didn't say a word. 2 huge guards stepped up from behind, tied my hands behind my back in seconds, and tossed me onto the bed. He said, "I'm afraid you'll climb the wall again. I'll stay and watch you sleep." Wait, I stared at myself, tied tight as a zongzi. How was I supposed to sleep like this? I wriggled on the bed, but couldn't break free. The rope rubbed my wrists red, making tears sting my eyes. I put on a sweet, soft voice and looked up at him. "Little Lord Song, the rope's hurting my wrists. Can you untie me? I promise I won't run away." I thought this act would melt any man's heart, but instead, he let out a sound way too ungentlemanly. That was an insult. I held it in, then couldn't anymore. I broke the rope with brute force. Song Yunchi turned just in time to see me crawl out of the ropes. Before he could speak, I punched him unconscious. Just to be safe, I lifted his eyelid to check he was really out. Can't appreciate the pretty face. Fine, I've got fists. 07. When I woke up, Song Yunchi was sitting against the bed, hands folded over the quilt, eyes downcast, looking half dead. I yawned, propped my head on my arm, and watched him. "Little Lord Song, nothing happened between us last night. You don't have to act like you lost your virtue. Besides, even if something had happened, I wouldn't take responsibility for you." He seemed to jolt back to himself at my words. His usually cold eyes were bloodshot, like I'd infuriated him. "Jiang He, how can there be a woman like you in this world? You're simply what?" I perked up, curious, sitting up straight to hear the rest. But he fumbled for words, then huffed and sat on the edge of the bed in frustration. I laughed, reached out, and patted his head. "Our little Lord Song is still so kind. He can't even swear." "What to do? I like you more and more. Why don't you just give in to me?" Song Yunchi was quiet for a moment, then looked at me seriously and asked, "What do you want for breakfast?" "I'll have the servants make it." It was the first time he didn't argue back. My heart skipped a beat, thinking something good was about to happen until he awkwardly changed the subject. "Stewed Song Yunchi, braised Song Yunchi, boiled Song Yunchi, stir-fried Song Yunchi, fried Song Yunchi." I listed the dishes while jumping out of bed, opening the door to shoo him away. I stood with my hands on my hips, watching him fix his clothes slowly. I got annoyed, marched over, grabbed his belt, and dragged him out, giving him a kick on the way. "Unappreciative man. Get out, go eat your breakfast." Rough. Song Yunchi brushed off the spot I kicked. Morning sunlight blurred his face. For a second, I thought he was looking at me softly, his voice warm, like flirting. I slammed the door shut and touched my cheek. It was hot. Was I running a fever? 08. Breakfast was sent to my room. Stewed crab meatballs, dompa pork, boiled greens, stir-fried lamb tripe, crispy fried meat, and a bowl of plain kanji. I ate for 2 hours and was stuffed, despite hating every second. I got on the carriage back to the capital. First day back, tease Little Lord Song. Second day, tease Little Lord Song. Third day, got dizzy from the bumping and behaved. Song Yunchi saw how green the first looked and finally softened, telling the driver to slow down. We ended up camping in the wilderness. I lay half dead in the carriage. Song Yunchi was nowhere to be seen. In the middle of the night, in the wild, a woman carrying a bag taller than herself snuck forward. The sound of water relaxed me. I walked slowly, even looking for the spring to wash up properly. If God gave me a do-over, I would have come earlier. It was a hot spring, through the mist. I could make out a man leaning against the rock, arms resting on the sides. Water dripped down his strong, smooth forearms into the pool, making tiny ripples. The mole on his nose glowed red under the moonlight, irresistible. I had the urge to wipe it and see if it got even redder. Before I could move, the man in the spring noticed me. He splashed bathwater straight in my face. Pa. I hadn't even spit the water out before a cold sword pressed against my neck. "Jiang He." His furious voice came from above. I didn't react at all. I was too busy staring. His inner robe was stuck to his body, showing off full, firm chest muscles. faintly pink. Jiang, you're having a nosebleed. Song Yunqi sounded panicked. Unlike his usual self, he ignored propriety. Grabbed my chin, and tilted my head back. Only then did I snap back to my senses. I swallowed quietly, still sneaking glances downward. This was a national feast. Song Yunqi realized exactly why I was bleeding. He suddenly covered my eyes with one hand. Don't look, his stiff, flustered voice rang in my ear. 09, I tried to save my reputation, but my voice came out dry and hoarse. Little Lord Song, I didn't mean to spy on you bathing, I just passed by. I know, as soon as he spoke. I felt my bag being kicked at my feet. His hand was burning hot, making my whole body warm. I felt weak from his heat, and reached up to grab his wrist over my eyes. Little Lord Song, your heart's beating so fast, so is mine. Close your eyes, turn around, don't peek. Song Yunqi pulled his hand back like he'd been burned. His cold voice was rough, weirdly sexy in the dark. Oh, I turned around obediently, but stared at his thin shadow in front of me. I listened to him rustling into layers of loose robes. My mind wouldn't stop replaying that flash of pink. My nose felt hot again. I quickly pinched it and tilted my head back. Thankfully, the torture didn't last long. Why are you still bleeding? Song Yunqi stood in front of me and frowned when he saw my blood-stained hands and face. Drops still fell from his wet bangs, sliding down his face, past his collarbone, into his dark robe, leaving a small wet stain. I'm done. The bleeding's only gonna get worse. To save my life, I quickly turned around again. Pathetic. I was too flustered to argue back. I just hated that I hadn't visited enough brothels to keep my cool. On the way back, I stepped on his shadow, walking ahead of him. Jiang He, did you get your memories back? He didn't ask like a question, he stated it. I nodded. When? The night I climbed over your wall. Why didn't you want to go back to the capital? I fell silent. I was deciding whether to lie and act pitiful, when he said, I don't want to hear it. 10. We reached the minister's manor right before sunset. A girl in a pale yellow dress stood at the gate, waiting eagerly. As soon as the carriage stopped, she ran over. Brother Song Tilda. I just lifted the curtain when I heard Jiang Yining's sweet voice. My skin crawled. I jumped down quickly, ignored her shocked face, smiled, and copied her tone. Sorry, I'm not your brother Song, I'm your sister Jiang. Jiang Yining recovered fast. She stepped back and curtsied, but her eyes kept darting into the carriage. Elder sister, I've already had hot water prepared for you. Rest well. You needn't worry about the third prince avenging that actor. Father has already apologized for you. Just stay home peacefully from now on. Father and mother went to pray for blessings. I've sent word, and they should be home in 2 days. I ignored her and walked inside. The Jiang family always put on a perfect show in public. Being around them made me sick. My room hadn't been cleaned in ages. On the bed lay a bright red wedding dress, already tried on. Several robes were thrown on the floor, a clear footprint stamped on the skirt. I stared coldly at the scene, rolled my shoulders, and marched straight to Jiang Yining's courtyard. I ran right into her halfway. Without hesitation, I grabbed her hair bun. Jiang He, are you insane? Attacking me the second you're back. When mother returns, I'll have her throw away all your birth mother's things. Are you all deaf? Pull her off me. The maids reacted fast, but I was faster. I pulled the hairpin from Jiang Yining's hair and pressed it to her face. If they rush up, my hand might slip and carve a line into that pretty face. Wouldn't want that. Don't. Stay back, all of you. Jiang He, I'm sorry. Please spare me this time. Jiang Yining finally realized I didn't care about her threats. She caved. I let go. She collapsed to the ground, hair messy, tiny scratch marks on her face from struggling. She looked utterly pathetic, nothing like a noble lady. I crouched down to her level. What's the meaning of the wedding dress in my room? Father has betrothed you to a wealthy merchant in the south as his concubine. The marriage documents are already exchanged. The wedding is next month. Her voice dripped with schadenfreude. That southern merchant didn't even care about your bad reputation. He's letting you live in luxury. You should be grateful. Oh, and his eldest son is already 25. You'll be spoiled rotten. No work, just rich days ahead. I felt sick listening to her. I turned and walked out. 11. I'd barely stepped out of the minister's manor when a carriage stopped smoothly beside me. Song Yunchi leaned out. Want to ride horses outside the city? I glanced at the setting sun, then at him. I swallowed "Are you crazy?" and climbed in. Whatever, crazy or not. We rode half an hour to the outskirts, then rode for 15 minutes before it turned completely dark. I couldn't see a thing. Song Yunchi and I sat on the ground, no fire, hidden in the dark, letting the cold mountain wind blow over us. Jiang He, do you want to tell me the real you? His voice was so soft I thought I imagined it. I held it in, then spoke. I didn't need him to believe me. I just wanted to say it out loud. All those years I lived with grandfather, no one from the Jiang family ever visited. They lied about coming every year. When they first brought me back, I thought they finally remembered they had a daughter. I was wrong. They wanted me to marry the third prince as a concubine to gain his favor. The third prince's harem could fill 2 brothels. I refused. They tried to lock me up, but I know martial arts, walls, and people couldn't stop me. The minister's manor cares so much about its reputation, right? So I used their name to go out and have fun, but I was too naive. All I damaged was my own name and grandfather's. No one said the Jiang family failed to raise me. They all said grandfather was a brute who raised an unruly girl. All the ladies in the capital despised me and admired Jiang Yining. Just when I started behaving, they drugged my pastries and sent me to the third prince's boat. I fought for my life. Hurt the third prince, escaped on a small boat, injured. I had no money, no papers, nowhere to stay, no work. I suffered, but I lived. Then groups of people came to take me back. I pretended I had amnesia. Then I met you, and now they're marrying me off to some merchant as a concubine. I should have just married the third prince as a concubine. Would have been easier. My voice was light at the end, like I'd made peace with it. No reply came, but my arm was touched gently. I felt a paper packet pressed into my hand. When I opened it, a faint floral scent hit me. I recognized it at once. Crystal flower pastries, the signature of Rugi restaurant. I'd seen them so many times since coming to the capital, but only tasted them once, sweet and soft, lingering on the tongue. I ate. A little regretful. I wonder if there are men as pretty as you in the south. But I hear the food is good. I want to try it. You will. His voice was rough and hoarse. I almost thought someone else had spoken. 12. I didn't want to go back to the Jiang manor. Song Yunchi took me to one of his private residences. I leaned against the gate as he prepared to leave, smiling. Little Lord Song, if I live in your manor, won't other girls be jealous? Song Yunchi frowned. Serious. There is no one else. There never will be. I looked away. It's late. You should go home. Or your family will worry. All right, he agreed, but didn't move. The servant beside him looked exhausted. I laughed. Little Lord Song, get on the carriage. I'll watch you go inside first. Fine. I closed the gate without hesitation. We'd be here all night if we dragged this out. I was about to wander and pick a room when a woman in black night clothes knelt before me. She said Song Yunchi left her to take care of me. She led me to the main bedroom, prepared fresh clothes and hot water. This treatment was way better than at the Jiang manor. Back home, I even had to boil my own hot water. When I woke up, washed, and stepped outside, Song Yunchi was sitting in the courtyard drinking tea. His dark red embroidered court robes made him look even more elegant. The more I looked, the more I liked him. Little Lord Song, something urgent. You didn't even change out of your court clothes. I wanted to see you, so I came straight here after court. Me. I rubbed my ears, sure I'd misheard. Little Lord Song lost his mind today, so bold. I blinked and pointed at myself. Little Lord Song, is this what you call hiding a beauty in a golden chamber? Song Yunchi's face burned red. I smiled in satisfaction. I'm the bold one. Song Yunchi stayed for lunch. He asked my opinion on every dish. When I said it was good, he just smiled and didn't eat. By the end of the meal, I felt paranoid. Did he think my taste was bad? 13. After eating, I went out to walk off the meal. Song Yunchi followed me into the carriage. I raised an eyebrow at him. Little Lord Song, you don't even know where I'm going, and you're coming. It doesn't matter. He looked completely calm. I had a bold plan. I took him to an underground gambling den. I teased him before entering. Still dare to come, Little Lord Song. Song Yunchi stared at me for 2 seconds, then walked in first. The manager hurried over, saw his official robes, and didn't dare stop him. The manager set up a private table for me, the crowded den all squeezed to the side, too intimidated by Song Yunchi to approach. The dealer shook the dice. When it was time to bet, I patted myself down and found no silver. A small bag was held out beside me. Thanks, little Lord Song, if I win, I'll buy you tea at Rugi. My luck was amazing. I won every round. I quit while I was ahead, grabbed the money bag, and dragged Song Yunchi straight to Rugi. What I didn't know was that right after we left, soldiers arrived and sealed the den shut. Gambling wasn't illegal in our dynasty, but officials were forbidden from running businesses. The den belonged to the Jiang family. By the time we were eating at the tea house, people were already gossiping about what punishment the Jiangs would get. I bit into a pastry. Annoyed, what about all the money I lost there before? That just means you're rich, Song Yunchi replied in a good mood. A strong wave of perfume suddenly drifted over. I didn't even need to look up to know who it was. Brother Song. Song Yunchi nodded coldly. Jiang Yining didn't care. She turned to me, voice fake concerned. Elder sister, you didn't come home last night. Where were you? I was so worried. Suddenly, she covered her mouth and gasped, Elder sister, you've even changed your clothes. Did something happen last night? Jiang Yining's voice was loud enough for everyone to hear. Woman, out all night, changed clothes. The words were enough for endless dirty thoughts. Combined with my past reputation, several men looked at me with lewd eyes. I didn't care. She couldn't beat me in a fight. All she could do was disgust me with my reputation. 14. Miss Jiang. Song Yunchi's usually cold face held anger. If you were truly worried, why didn't you send servants to look for her? Brother Song, I did send people last night. We couldn't find her. But elder sister is so good at martial arts, I knew she'd be fine. She's always been like this. Jiang Yining twisted her handkerchief, stammering to defend herself. If it's always normal, why ask? Are you putting on a show in front of this official? Miss Jiang, Song Yunchi spoke calmly, but his words cut straight to the bone. Jiang Yining staggered back as if struck, tears bursting out at once. Why must you say such things? Lord Song, everyone in the capital knows the Jiang manor puts my elder sister first. Why slander me? Jiang Yining had a delicate, pretty face. When she cried, she looked pitiful and easy to pity. But this was Song Yunchi. She might as well have been batting her eyelashes at a blind man. I'd heard of his iron heart long before I came to the capital. True to his reputation, his next words didn't disappoint. Is that so? Then why does the eldest daughter have not a single servant to run errands for her, while the second daughter has 2 maids and 6 attendants? I'm just a woman, it's dangerous outside, so naturally Jiang Yining stopped mid-sentence, realizing she'd said the wrong thing. To claim the capital was unsafe, she might as well have asked to get her father demoted. Then Song Yunchi slowly pulled out a handkerchief and covered his nose. The perfume on you, Miss Jiang, is heavier than even a brothel girl's. His words drained the color from Jiang Yining's face. Mine changed too. Lord Song, choose your words carefully. Jiang Yining has always loved cosmetics. She often mixes them at home, so her scent is naturally stronger. Song Yunchi pressed his lips together, clearly not seeing the problem, but he gave her an out anyway. My apologies, Miss Jiang, I spoke out of turn. I will call at the manor another day to make amends. I dare not accept such courtesy. Jiang Yining's eyes flicked between me and him, then she flounced off with her handkerchief. 15. After that scene, I lost all mood to stay. As I prepared to leave, Song Yunchi quickly grabbed my arm. I'll take you back to the Jiang manor. I didn't refuse. Who would walk when they could ride a carriage? On the 7th time Song Yunchi sneaked a glance at me, I finally turned from the window. Lord Song, what do you want to say? Why did you stop calling me Little Lord Song? Then what does Little Lord Song want to say? I changed my words obediently. Are you angry with me? When he spoke, his voice was careful, nothing like the sharp man in the tea house. No, you stood up for me. I should be grateful, not angry. You are angry. I'm not angry. I even swore to heaven I wasn't mad, but he kept pressing. I'm just scared. I gave up and laid it all out. I knew the Jiangs would use my marriage to control me the second they took me back. So I made a long list of possible husbands. Unfortunately, everyone I picked was a womanizer. Later, I let them drug me. I hurt the third prince, stained my clothes with his blood, pretended I was injured, and escaped to that small town, a useless, disobedient daughter. They'd never come for me. As for the third prince's revenge, I could fight. But no revenge came. Instead, several groups claiming to be from the Jiang manor came to take me back. I faked amnesia, and then you came, Song Yunqi. I decided to make you fall for me, but you idiot, you only blushed the whole way, nothing else. I even used you to shut down that gambling den to annoy your father. I finished and glanced at him. He looked completely calm. That scared me even more. Song Yunqi, hit me or kill me. I won't cry injustice. I'm not angry. I'm glad I could be used. Now I was the one staring. Sure, he was lying. I made him swear a poison oath. Song Yunqi raised 3 fingers to the sky. I, Song Yunqi, swear to heaven. I will never be angry at Jiang He, no matter what she does. I will never take revenge. If I break this. I clapped a hand over his mouth before he could finish. Enough. The first part is enough. His skin under my palm was soft and hot. Only then did I realize I was half fallen into his lap. I tried to pull back. But he locked an arm around my waist and pulled me closer. He asked, "Would you marry into the Prime Minister's manor and keep seducing me?" His breath burned my face. My mind went blank. And I said yes. I completely forgot I was supposed to marry that 60-year-old southern merchant next month, 16. When we reached the Jiang manor, Minister Jiang was already waiting at the gate, his face sickeningly ingratiating. "My daughter is wild. I hope you'll forgive her, Lord Song." Disgusting dog. How dare he call himself my father? I don't know what Song Yunqi said to him, but I had a few peaceful days. They even returned all my birth mother's belongings. Grandfather always told me, "People live, things are dead. Don't let dead things chain you." I believed him, but using them to threaten me still left a bad taste. The next day, the Prime Minister's wife arrived with betrothal gifts and a list. In less than half a day, the wedding date and all details were settled. The wedding was set for the 8th of next month, less than a month away. I stared at the boxes of jewelry and bright red wedding dress piled in the yard. Was the Prime Minister's manor really in this much of a hurry? Afraid I'd run away, or afraid he would, Grandfather rushed over before the wedding. He didn't even meet Song Yunqi first, but kept praising me for picking such a good husband, telling me not to bully him. I was completely confused. The night before the wedding, Jiang Yining sent a few chests over with servants. She tilted her chin. "These are my wedding gifts to you." With that, she twisted her waist and left. I glanced roughly inside. Many of the hairpins were her favorites, ones she never even wore before. She just gave them to me. After we married, I realized Song Yunqi was only pretending to be proper. He kept dragging me to hot springs with him, or hugging my waist pitifully, asking why I hadn't seduced him that day. Then he'd seduce me instead. Me. I already wanted a divorce.